All right, hey guys, it's Hughes. I want to spend a couple minutes talking to you today about million-dollar loan applications and about how you and I both delay, procrastinate, and at times just flat out miss out on the opportunities to take million-dollar loan applications. All right, so we mentioned missing out, skipping out, procrastinating on a million-dollar deal. If you're a real estate agent, if you're a loan officer, can you imagine doing that? And if you're in a high-dollar market area, perhaps $1 million isn't that big of a transaction for you. Well, double that. Call it 2 million, call it 3 million, whatever. Um, I make the case with people all the time that we miss out. We put ourselves in a position where we miss out on million-dollar loan applications. And how do we do that? Well, for a minute, I want you to imagine you're a loan officer. You have a borrower calls you and she says, "Hey, I'm in a hurry, but I've got to I need a refinance. I got to pay off my existing mortgage. That's it." And so you're like, "Whoa, okay." So talking about a rate and term refi, you find out sounds like her credit scores are going to be in the 780 area. All she's trying to do is drop from a 30-year fix to a 15-year fix. Sounds pretty easy. You're gonna drop her rate by 2%. So now this is sounding like, whoa, way too good to be true. Plus income is W-2 income, no commission, no bonus, no nothing. We got 3 million bucks in the bank in liquid reserves. This is a slam dunk deal, okay? And so this client is saying she's ready. She's got to meet you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Now, with that being said, is there any possibility that you or I would miss out on that? We set the appointment, we put it in Outlook, create the Outlook calendar appointment, and then I want you to imagine 2 o'clock shows up. And that gal, she strolls into the office, she meets with the receptionist. Receptionist calls you and says, "Hey, she's here." And can you imagine saying, I actually, I can't meet with her. I'm too busy. My inbox is full. Plus, I've got 7 or 8 voicemails I've got to get returned. And don't forget, we've got the appraisal issue on the Smith file. Like, I just don't have time to meet with her. So send her packing. Can you imagine doing that? Yeah, I can't either. And yet, I talk to clients all the time. This is, especially early in my career, this was an issue, but it happens. We have tasks. Maybe it's maybe it's face-to-face meetings with a potential referral partner that you've been putting off. Could be proactive phone calls to the list of your top 10, either referral partners, real estate agents. It could be phone calls to your past client database and working that past client database. Maybe it's sending handwritten thank you notes post-transaction to the listing agent, to the borrower. Maybe it's just making direct phone calls asking for referrals to certain people. And you know that there's business out there, and if you just made those calls, like, it's yours to be had. And so sometimes we make those important, maybe even so important that we're like, okay, I'm going to block that time out of my calendar and I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. And 2 o'clock shows up. And have you ever done that? You reach your mouse up and you see it. Here's the time. I blocked out this time. And you hit dismiss and it's gone. And because we have not made it that important. It seemed important when we were putting it in there. Like, I know if I make these 15 proactive phone calls, I know I'm going to generate business. There's no question. And yet here it pops up and I'm busy. And so I let it go. And also too, almost always there's call reluctance built up with that. There's a little bit of fear, like, what am I going to say? I don't really have a great reason to call. And those are issues. I'll discuss some of those call reluctance issues on a later video, but for now, I want to make that point that there are times where you have something so critical, you've even blocked out the time on your calendar, you can't hit dismiss. And so one of the ways I found is to kind of get by that, bypass that. I want to just dismiss it and get back to trying to clear out my inbox, as if clearing out your inbox is going to pay you anything, right? And instead, one of the ways you can trick yourself is to remind yourself when you're setting that appointment, this is important. So instead of just saying proactive phone calls at 2 o'clock, right? You might put in there $1 million loan application calling XYZ clients because, and put it in there. I've written notes myself in Outlook appointments like that, where it's just like, Jay, you cannot dismiss this. Too critical. This is too urgent and important to your business. You have to make it urgent and important. Otherwise, in the midst of a crazy day, it's too easy to blow that stuff off, because while it is really, really, really important, it's not that urgent, because if you don't make those calls, no one's going to call you on it. You don't have, I mean, no one's going to know that you're going to make those proactive calls. So you have to make it urgent for yourself. Another way to do that is if you have a coach or maybe a peer in your office, to just build up some accountability with one another. Hey, I'm setting this appointment with myself at 2 o'clock. Make sure I get it done, because it's got to get done. Okay. So my question for you as we close this out is, what $1 million loan applications are sitting on your to-do list right now that you've been putting off? Maybe it's not even on your to-do list anymore. Which one of those tasks do you know that if you achieve that, you blocked out an hour and you got it done, you know for a fact it would increase your business? What is it? Jot it down, put it in your calendar, a little bit of pattern interrupt, so you know that you're going to remind yourself when that pops up that you cannot dismiss it. Get a little bit of accountability, and then let's get that done. Okay? No more missing out on $1 million loan applications. All right, guys. Hey, thanks. We'll see you on the next video.